A Magical New Year's Kiss by Jennifer Joyce. Read by Isabel Caswell. Chapter 1. I've had some terrible dates lately. Like, cringe so hard you turn yourself inside out 3 months later terrible. But this one is hands down the most terrible of them all. I will still be cringing over this date in years to come, even when I'm in a nursing home, sitting in a wing-backed chair in the communal lounge while we all stare at ancient repeats of Homes Under the Hammer on a wall-mounted TV. This date really is that bad. I should have walked out when my date greeted me by pressing his lips to the back of my hand with a, "It's so nice to meet you, Gabriella." Which isn't that bad, I guess, except my name isn't Gabriella. Not even close. "It's Daisy," I'd laughed, to show that I wasn't uptight. I understood people make mistakes. And it was an easy mistake to make if you were on the dating treadmill. This was my third date this week, if you counted the first, who didn't show up and had blocked me on the Love Today app by the time I skulked home. So I wasn't too put off by the blunder. "It's nice to meet you too, Dean." Dean was definitely his name. I was confident of the fact, because my best friend had pointed out how cute Daisy and Dean sounded while she was giving me a pep talk half an hour earlier. But my date was giving me an odd look, his eyebrows pinched together and his lips scrunched up on one side. Perhaps he wasn't called Dean after all. "You look different from your profile pic." "Do I?" I laughed again. It was an involuntary sound, more of a nervous splutter than a reaction to amusement. "It's a bit misleading, the pic on the app." "Is it?" Okay, so the photo had been taken on a good day, when the sun was shining and I was sun-kissed, and glowing from the inside as well as the outside, and maybe it was cheating a little bit as I'd had my makeup done by a professional, but there'd been no tinkering with the photo after it had been taken. It was me, 100%. Just the best version of me that was humanly possible. But it's fine. Dean's face relaxed, his eyebrows returning to their natural position. "It's no big deal, honestly. I'm not saying you're hideous in real life, or fat. Not at all. Just different. You really do look stunning in your profile pic." I should have walked away then, but I didn't. I allowed myself to be led to a table towards the back of the restaurant, where the exit was too far away for my liking, and I sat and listened to Dean as he talked at me, telling me about his job as an estate agent and his plans to get into property development and retire before he hit 40. I hadn't managed to get a word in all through the starter, not even when Dean asked if I was absolutely sure I wanted a starter, even though he'd just ordered salt and pepper squid for himself. But finally, as our main course was placed in front of us, Dean finally shut up going on about himself. "So, Gabriella," he picked up his knife and fork and attacked his steak. "How's your day been?" "It's Daisy." He paused, the hacking of his steak, to look over each shoulder in turn. "Who's Daisy?" "I am." "Eh?" His eyebrows pinched together again. "I'm Daisy, not Gabriella." He pulled his chin back. He rummaged in his trouser pocket and pulled out his phone. He tapped on the screen a few times and then his eyebrows lifted. "So you are! Why didn't you say so before?" He shook his head and tutted. "You've made me look like a right tool." "So, Daisy." He resumed his sawing of his steak, but eyed me across the table with slightly narrowed eyes. "Not very chatty, are you? You were much more responsive on the app. I didn't think I'd be dating a mouse. Come on, tell me about yourself. What do you do?" He shoved a chunk of steak in his mouth and chewed with his mouth open. "I work in a factory. We make biscuits." "A factory?" A fleck of steak catapulted from Dean's mouth and pinged against my wine glass. "But you don't work on the shop floor? You're like in accounts or HR or something?" I'd speared a prawn on my fork, but I didn't pop it into my mouth. I wouldn't talk and chew like my dinner date. "Nope, I'm right there on the production line, hand finishing the biscuits." Dean scrunched up his nose. "Like tossing sprinkles on top?" "Like delicate piping work. All freehand, very artistic. They're high-end, luxury biscuits, not your bog-standard packet of digestives. They're beautiful, actually, and presented in decorative tins or gift boxes and hampers. And you're happy making biscuits in a factory? You don't want an actual career? I looked down at the prawn still speared on my fork and wished it was Dean's eyeballs stuck on there instead. I do have plans to progress, actually. I had an interview this morning for a promotion. It had gone almost as badly as this date was going, but Dean didn't need to know that I'd accidentally knocked my boss's water over his interview notes, or that I'd had a complete mind block midway through and simply stared at him with my mouth goldfishing away. Dean snorted. What's the promotion for? Boxing up the biscuits? Driving the delivery lorry? Dean, I concluded, was an absolute wanker, and I didn't want to spend another second more than necessary with him. Spearing as many prawns onto my fork as possible to create a mini kebab, I dispatched them into my mouth and, cheeks bulging, rose from my seat, snatched up my jacket and handbag from the back of my chair, threw enough cash down to cover my share of the disastrous dinner, and snaked my way through the other tables to the exit. That's it. I'm done with dating. It's still light outside, but it's chilly, and I wish I hadn't been so quick to put away my big coat as spring approached. The flimsy jacket I've shoved my arms through is doing nothing to ward off the bite in the air as I march away from the restaurant. My phone is pressed against my ear as I turn to glance backwards. Thankfully, Dean hasn't given chase. Oh, babe, what happened? Do you need me to come down there and karate chop his nuts off? I smile, despite the churning disappointment in my stomach. Jessie can always cheer me up, even when I've reached my limit of dating dickheads. No nut removal necessary. I've walked out, left him shoveling steak in this stupid gob. I twist to double-check he hasn't followed, but the only other person on this side of the street is a woman laden down with carrier bags. This was a bad one, Jessie. Really bad. It can't have been as bad as the fireman who accidentally flashed you a photo of his trouser hose while trying to show you a picture of his kitten. True, that wasn't what I expected on a first date. We only met up for coffee. I stop at the curb, checking for traffic before crossing. But this was worse. He basically said I looked like a fat troll compared to my profile picture, talked non-stop about himself for ages, scoffed at my job, and called me Gabriella even after I'd corrected him. And he chews with his mouth open. Gross. Very. He is not for me. I turn the corner and head for the bus stop. I could get a taxi home. It'd be much quicker and quieter, but I don't want to throw any more money at this date. I don't think anyone is, to be honest. Rubbish! Jessie sounds almost cross. Almost, because she just doesn't have it in her to be anything but the upbeat, joy-filled angel that she is. Even when she's offering to detach my date's testicles from his body, she sounds cheery. The right man is out there for you. You just haven't found him yet. But I'm tired of looking. I heave in a breath and puff it out. You're so lucky to have found Ant, to have found the man you're going to marry. You don't have to go through these endless rounds of dating. You don't have to gear yourself up to meet another guy, to fill yourself up with hope only to have disappointment dumped on you as soon as you've said hello. Don't give up. He's out there, Daisy, I promise. I reach the bus stop and lean against the shelter, eyes trained on the road ahead. I wish I believed that, but I don't. I can't see me ever finding the one. I'm destined to be alone. No. Jessie's tone is firm. You are not. You are going to meet the one. Maybe not tonight, though. Tonight, you're going to meet me and Callum at Clementine's, and we're going to get very drunk, even though it's a school night. I smile again, because getting drunk with my two best friends in our favourite bar sounds like the most marvellous plan, the perfect antidote to my disastrous date with Dean. I'm on my way. I push myself away from the shelter's wall as the bus comes into view. I'll be there in 20. Jessie, Callum and I claimed Clementine's as our favourite bar back when we were at college for 3 very important reasons. It was a short walk from where we lived, meaning no wasted money on buses or taxis. They served cheap cocktails from 7 until 9 p.m, and they never asked for ID. Being in our mid-20s now, we no longer require ID, but Clementine's is still a massive part of our lives. It's where we go.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?